Well, that's cool. And you played at Friendship High School in Texas, and two-star recruit going into college.
Yes, sir.
Probably were not heavily recruited. How did you choose UTEP? Did you want to stay close to home and nearby the family, or did UTEP put a big press on you? What were your choices coming out of high school?
So the crazy thing coming out of high school, in West Texas, whenever I was playing, a lot of guys weren't really getting looked at in West Texas. It was kind of crazy. We had a lot of talent, but a lot of people weren't getting. And I remember going into my junior year, I was a triple jump guy. So like at first I was thinking I'm doing my thing in football. Like yeah, I'm getting accolades and everything, but I had went to state in triple jump my sophomore year, so I was thinking, okay, I might go to college. Around my junior year, I was getting interest from like a lot of Ivy League schools. Like I had interest from Bryant and some other Ivy League schools out there. And then my senior year, uh, I started getting looked at a little bit, but it wasn't until the end when one of my friends, he was a DB on team, his name is Broderick. He was getting looked at by like Toledo and some other Division One schools, and UTEP was one of them. And I remember the coach. I remember his name, Coach Franklin. He had came out and came to watch Broderick this workout and stuff like that. And then my boy actually he told him about me, so they looked at my film, came out there, watched me worked out, and they loved what they saw. So by this time, it was already the end of the like it was already close to signing day and everything like that. So they can offer me a scholarship. They had offered me a gracious scholarship. So whenever signing day came, I signed my scholarship to go play at UTEP, but as like under a gracious scholarship. So that's how UTEP
So
came along.
yeah, so freshman year, 2017, you played two games at UTEP.
Mm-hmm.
2018, you're playing safety and linebacker. And then 2019, you didn't play because you got hurt in fall camp and you were a
Yeah.
medical redshirt. What was your injury in 2019?
I had actually broke my foot. It was it was
Mm.
two it was 2 weeks before we played Texas Tech in 2019, and I had made a regular jump cut that I always make it like a back cut, and it was like they said it was a Jones fracture, and so when they went and looked at it, they said it had split down straight down the middle of my fifth metatarsal, and before I had left, they told me it was supposed to be 6 to 8 weeks. But since the Jones fracture, or since the pinky bone is so small, little blood supply gets to it, it took me the whole year to for it to heal, and so that's why I was out that whole year. But yeah, it was a foot injury. It was a Jones fracture injury.
Now, when you came back, you're playing 6 games in 2020. I guess that was the COVID year.
Hmm.
You're playing running back. So was it you that wanted to move from safety and linebacker to the offensive side of the ball, or was it the coaches there at UTEP who said, you know what, let's use you as a running back?
Yeah, so it was more of the coaches. They wanted to use me as a running back because they had another running back who was ahead of me, and he ended up getting hurt. And so going into the COVID year, it was tough. He was still trying to rehab from it and everything, and I used it as a perfect opportunity to earn my stripes, like finally get on the field playing running back. So that's what I did in 2020. Yeah, 2020 came out there and did what I had to do to earn my stripes, and that was just the beginning of the journey that I had out there playing running back at UTEP.
Yeah, 2021 is your bust out year. You lead UTEP with 844 yards rushing, 5.3 a carry. You caught 11 passes. You had 300-yard rushing games. You were 10th in all of the Conference USA in yards per carry at 5.3 a pop. 13 games, 9 starts. Some big games too. 19 for 126 against Bethune-Cookman. 18 for 159 against Southern Miss. Those are two really good football games right there. That had to be fun, huh? 2021, just finally, your final year in college, getting it all put together, and busting out and really being productive. Tell us a little bit about 2021 and, what went into you having such a big year there.
Yeah, so 2021, like you said, it was a big year for me, and it took a lot of patience and me having faith, just knowing what I was capable of doing, and pretty much just being ready whenever my number was called. Because going into that year, I actually wasn't the starting running back. I was sitting at, I want to say, third on the depth chart going into that year. And so it was more of like, and my coaches always said, some of my friends had always said, it's a long season, so you never know what can happen. So I did all right that 2020 year with 6 games. It was COVID, so we were losing some games away from us because of the COVID. But 2021 was just pretty much like, once I get my opportunity, I'm gonna take advantage of it. And sure enough, the opportunity came due to injuries. And once I had got that first opportunity, took advantage of it, and the rest was history. And that's how I ended up getting the opportunity to come out here, play the game, and career.
It's a good story, and you had a strong bowl game as well against Fresno, the New Mexico Bowl. 3 catches for 46 yards, 40 yards rushing and a touchdown. You shared some of the running back duties with Deion Hankins. And I'm looking at your career: 44 games in 6 years at UTEP with the COVID year. The one thing I noticed is that UTEP ranked like 18th in the country in time of possession. So, man, they used you and Hankins a lot to just dominate the ball and dominate time of possession. Was that pretty much coach's game plan? Let's just run it some more and try to keep our defense on the sideline.
Yeah, that was especially I want to say my last year when Deion Hankins was. That was the game plan. Just rotate us in, keep the offense on the field, and keep the defense fresh. So whenever they come out there, they can do their thing.
What I loved when I watched your college film, I think it's pretty. I mean, for those who don't know some of the measurables, 4.56 40, pretty good 40 time, 1.58 10-yard split, 35-inch vertical. But the number that jumps out to me is the 16 reps of 225. You obviously spent a lot of time in the weight room, huh? I mean, you don't put a running backs. 16 is a great number for running backs. That's putting up the weight. In fact, I just came from the gym myself, and I got 2 reps at 225, and I had to have a spot. So, but granted, I'm 53 years old right now, but 16 reps at 225 is a good number, man. So obviously, you spent a lot of time in the weight room, huh?
Yes, sir. And it was one of those things when I was going through my pro day training. Person I was working with, he did a real good job in getting me ready for that. Because when we actually had our mock pro day, I didn't hit 16. I had hit, I want to say, 12 or 13. And so when we had that mock pro day, we kind of looked at all the measurables and how everything was, and we just honed in on all the things that we had struggled with until pro day, and then that's how I was able to bump it up. 4 more reps, 3 more reps, and get that 16. But it took a lot of hard work, and trust me, it was hard because my main thing with bench press, my arms would get fatigued. So it was like I felt like I could do it, but at the same time, whenever my arms had got fatigued, it was done for me. I couldn't do it anymore.
No, I hear you, but I mean, seriously, the scouts look at those numbers and say, you know what, you can be naturally gifted and be good at some of the other things. But if you're putting up 16 reps at 225 as a running back, you're doing the work. And so, sometimes your profile will reveal some truths about you. And if you see good weightlifting numbers, usually there's a dedicated football player behind those numbers. Let's talk about your game, because one of the things that I love about you is that, I think it's pretty safe to say, and if I'm wrong, correct me, but I look at you as kind of a one-cut runner who likes to get downhill. I love the fact that you averaged over 3 yards per carry after contact. I love the fact that you forced a lot of missed tackles. But to me, it's just when I watched your film, and tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, I just see a mindset. Some guys are trying to run around. Other guys are trying to run through. And I love that your mindset is you're going to run through. You're not, you'll run away from defenders if you can, but it seems like you got an aggressive mindset to kind of run through defenders, run through arm tackles. You enjoy the contact, don't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I feel like that's why whenever I did have my defensive stint at UTEP, I feel like it was fun, and I did what I could at it, and it was natural to me because of the aggression that I have whenever it comes to the game. And it's one of those things too, like playing running back, that like whenever you go up against the defense, they don't want to keep taking those hits. Like after a certain amount of time, it's gonna wear defense down. And so like my mindset was always like I always like even in high school was finesse the game, like finesse the defenders, like go at them, go at them, go at them. So that way, whenever it gets like the third quarter, fourth quarter, you can get around them and just kind of squeeze through tackles and just maneuver your way through the tackles and stuff like that. So that was my mindset towards everything. But when it comes to running the ball, like like I love the contact. I love running hard. That's just it makes the game fun for me. I don't even think about it.
Well, and it's kind of, it's to me, it's kind of like the mentality of a pass rusher. You can go, try to beat a guy with speed, but you got to first beat him with power. You got to bull rush him, then you can beat him with speed. Then when he's lunging outside, you can counter back inside. You got to set a guy up because it's an all-day deal. So you run at him. Suddenly they don't want any, and now you're running around him in the fourth quarter. Because they don't want that contact. So it came through in your film for sure. One of the things that jumped out is that your head coach there at Utah, is Dana Dimmel, cited your leadership, that you were a great leader on that football team. Did you take it upon yourself to try to lead some of the younger guys when you were, finishing up there at UTEP?
Yes, sir. Like I really took pride in that because like going through UTEP, I always wanted to have that person that I could look up to, especially throughout my journey at UTEP. And like towards my last year, I started seeing some of the talent they start bringing in that running back, and it was like one of those like they would always I knew they looked up to me and they would ask me questions, and even outside the meeting room that they would try to want to talk to me and ask me little things. So it was like one of those like I felt honored because I was once in their shoes, and it was like whatever y'all need from me, whatever you guys want, or I'm here to give you guys nuggets like on what to do. Like I used to tell some of the guys like, man, like if it was something I struggled with, like my junior year, I struggled with body maintenance, which is like stretching and stuff like that. I used to tell them like, man, if you guys want to get better and you guys want to stay out the training room, stretch every night. And I used to send them like little clips on YouTube and stuff like that, just little things like that. And then just going out there and practice and making plays, being in the game, making plays. They kind of I know they looked up to me because of the product that I put out there and everything like that. And just the type of person I was to them. Like I wasn't the type of guy to just brush them off. Like I always wanted them to tell them, like ask me something, and I'll be the first one to tell them what they need to work on. So that's where I feel good when it comes to the leadership aspect of things, especially my last year at UTEP.